Hey, welcome to my channel. Today I'm doing a little video about revision. I've been talking to a few people about this lately and I wanted to really tell you the best way to do it. There's two ways of doing it. There's the way that I do it, or there's the way that I do it now, and the way that I would have done it back in the past, and I have done it back in the past. And what we don't want to do with revision is make it such a complicated exercise that we go through revising every little bit that we didn't like that happened. It could be anything. We're probably going to talk about relationships, aren't we? Let's face it, because mostly that is an issue where something has happened in a relationship, it's led on to this, and this, and the relationship has gone kaput, and you want the relationship back. But you cannot get over that point in time, or you keep kind of referring back to that, and you know that what happened is lodged in your subconscious on a deep level, even if you're not thinking about it all of the time. That's the thing with these things. Sometimes people will say to me, we'll uncover something, and they'll go, but I never think about that. And I say, well, it doesn't matter if you never think about it, it's still there. Just because you don't think about it, just because your analytical mind isn't going over and over it, doesn't mean that it isn't there. It's there, it's in your subconscious because you've just brought it up and you've just told me about it. So it's there. So we need to deal with this in some way. There are like several different ways that you can deal with this, but the easiest way, in my opinion, is with revision. So what you really want to do is go back to the main event. So what I'm saying with that is, when is the time when you noticed that it was going wrong? The first time that you noticed that things weren't right, and go back to that point, and that's the point you're looking at revising. You are not then looking at revising every single point after that, because that will drive you crazy and it's completely not necessary. Because look at it this way, if you revise the main point of when it started, then all of that other stuff wouldn't have happened. So on a subconscious level, your subconscious thinks, oh well, you know, that didn't happen. You're giving it another version of events. Now, you can do this in two different ways. So first of all, let's say, keep it really short. Keep it to the point. And the reason I say that is because when you keep things short and to the point, you keep that vibration and that feeling around it completely pure, and it's not messed up with anything else. It is purely just that change of event. So you can either go back and revise it so it just didn't happen, or it happened in a different way. I'd suggest that you probably do it so that it didn't happen at all. So you get to that point in the day, whenever that memory is, and you revise it to such a way that you just went through that day and that particular point in time on a normal level. Things were good. Keep it short, keep it no more than 2 or 3 minutes, I would say. And then you're looking at doing that, I'd say about 3 weeks, really. Now, what you're not looking at doing is convincing yourself that that happened in that way. You're never going to do that because you know it didn't. So your rational analytical mind knows the way that it happened. So, but you just taking that out of the equation, okay? This is nothing to do with your rational analytical mind. It's all to do with your subconscious. It's giving your subconscious another version of events, another reference point. At the moment, it has this reference point. So everything after that is harder because you're going from that one point. So you want to just give it another version of events. That's all you're doing. Don't worry that you're saying to yourself you're deluded and all of that stuff. It's completely irrelevant. It doesn't matter. What you're looking at doing is making an impression on your subconscious. So you'll just have another version of events there. That's what you do. I'd say do it for 3 weeks, and I'd say do it once a day for 3 weeks consistently. Doesn't matter when you do it. Don't have to be in a meditative state or anything like that. Sat quietly in a bit of peace and quiet would be good. Do that, go back to that point, revise that. Just revise it with a little scene that would suit the fact that actually that didn't happen, okay? Simple as that. Or you can do what I do, and I can't remember when I started doing this, to be honest with you, but you know how I like the phrases not true and all of that kind of thing. So I just started saying, oh, that didn't happen. It didn't happen, didn't happen. If it came to my mind, didn't happen. And that was as easy. I don't know if anybody else does that, but for me, I started finding that much easier because it was, and actually I could feel that when I said it, a bit like when I would say the not true, if something would come into my mind that I didn't want to deal with, or that I'd get a vibration or a feeling of something that I didn't want to manifest, I started saying not true and feeling not true. It's just like that. So I was feeling didn't happen, didn't happen. I feel that I don't have to do that so much anymore because I feel like I've got my life's not completely on track, of course it's not, and there are days when things don't go so well and things show up that I think, what the hell, where did that come from? And occasionally I will use this. Don't use it so much anymore because I'm more in sort of the flow with, yeah, this is a bit crap, this thing that happened, I'm perceiving it to be a bit crap, but something will happen from here. I'm very good at that now. I'm very good. I think I've retrained myself to such a point where I do that. But again, I will use it if it's something that really does bug me and I hate, I don't like that it happened. I will definitely use it and just say it didn't happen. So you can do it in either of those two ways. I'd suggest that probably if you're not as practiced at this as me, then you might go with the scene first, because I definitely did that first. And all you're looking at doing is softening something up within you, creating another version of events, so that when you then bring what did happen to mind, and you can do that, that's fine. At the end of this, don't do it all the way through. Bring it to mind and see how you feel about it in that moment, because you should feel slightly differently about it, not quite so strongly about it, or see it from another perspective. And that's what this does. It really does two things. One, it gives your subconscious another version, and two, it softens you on the actual event itself, on the overall, your overall feeling about the whole thing. And that's what you're looking at measuring. So before you start this, measure yourself on a scale of 1 to 10. How do I feel at the moment on this subject? 1 feeling really crap, 10 feeling absolutely amazing, which clearly you don't because you wouldn't be doing this. Measure yourself, and then at the end of this exercise, go back and measure yourself again. And if you've moved at least one one spot, that's fine, because you've moved. Just do it for another couple of weeks and you'll move a little bit more. So that is how revision works. What it doesn't do, and I don't know, I know some people get a real misunderstanding about this and they think you're actually changing the past, and so your past will change for you, and for the other person won't actually remember what really happened, and maybe if they've met somebody else or something, they then won't be with that other person, stuff like that. That's not how this works. You're not actually changing reality, and the reality that you have experienced on a real level, on a sort of physical level, but you are changing it on an internal level, and that's all that you're doing. Really simple exercise. Don't make it complicated. You can use it for lots of different things. Obviously, you can use it for health things. If you feel that your health got bad at a certain point, you can do that. Use it with that. You can use it for, let's say you haven't got the qualifications for a job that you really want, you can use it for that. Go back and give yourself those qualifications. Again, you won't think, oh, I've got those qualifications now. It's nothing to do with what your rational brain is thinking. It's all to do with your subconscious, what's in there, and the general feeling that you get around the subject. But you can do it with absolutely anything. But don't pick one subject and do it for various different points throughout that timeline, especially if it's a relationship, because honestly, you'll tie yourself up in knots and you won't really get an effect from it, because you'll just be spreading yourself too thin. Go back to the main event, revise that, and all of the other stuff will then, as far as your subconscious is concerned, well, it wouldn't happen because this didn't happen, so that didn't happen. Again, you'll know it did, but that's not what you're doing. Please just take your rational brain out of the equation, and that's the key here. Take it out of the equation, and don't worry if it talks to you and tells you that you're deluded, you're stupid, of what you do and what the hell are you doing. It doesn't matter. Let it do its stuff. Just don't engage with it. And when I say don't engage with it, what I mean is don't water it. So when you start thinking that, don't then go, yeah, I am being stupid, aren't I? And all of that. That's not what you do. You just let it do what it does. Eventually, like with me, it doesn't even really say anything anymore on those lines, because like I said, I think I've trained myself to such a degree that my rational brain does kind of get on board with the subconscious fairly quickly. But again, I'm not perfect at this, obviously. Some things are harder than others. But if I can sort of get that over to you and you understand that, and maybe can work with that and keep it really short and sweet, to the point, keeping that vibration pure, then honestly, you can really move forward from that point. But just be persistent, because I hate the term persistence with this, I really do. But this is an exercise in changing your subconscious, in shifting you on a subconscious level. So it's worth the persistence, because if something's really bugging you and you feel like you really want this thing, but you can't get there because this happened, then that is what you want to look at changing. Again, not changing on a physical level, but are changing it on an internal level. And that's all you're looking at doing. I hope this was useful. It really is such a useful exercise. And it's one that you can it's not woo-woo or anything like that. I don't know if I call it scientific, but it's used in a lot of circumstances, and maybe not called revision. But those people that are really well versed in the subconscious mind, so hypnotherapists and people like that, will understand this and will sort of see where this is coming from, maybe even use it themselves. You are reshaping your subconscious to such a degree that you have a different reference point, so you can move forward from that point without all of the sort of feelings that have gone with that old vibration that you've had around that thing. I hope that makes sense. Anyway, I'm an author. All of my books are listed below, all based around the law of attraction. I am a coach. I do email coaching as well, for email coaching, and I also have a one-off email service if you want to pop along to my website and see what I do there. Also, I have a weekly podcast with my son Harrison, who is also has a law of attraction channel, and he does some coaching too. And just to let you know that he is offering personalised subliminals at 20% off at the moment. So I think they work out, so his personalised subliminals are normally £35, and I think they're like 28 at the moment, something like that. But it's a really good deal on a personalised one because it's completely bespoke to you and your situation. So I will put a link to his channel below and also to his website so you can go and have a look at that. If you go over to his website, I don't think he's listed that discount on there because it's not general, because other people are still paying the price. It's more of a YouTube thing. So, but do inquire and just say that you've come from YouTube. You can say that you've come from my channel and to get that discount. And that, I think, is that. Have a lovely day.